What kind of person pours scalding coffee on a disabled child and thinks they can walk away? That's the question I couldn't shake as I cradled my sobbing daughter, her skin blistering red from the burns. My name's Michael Reed, and for over a decade, I've been a special agent with the FBI, digging into civil rights cases that make your blood boil. But nothing cold V prepared me for the day my world turned upside down in a quiet suburban meeting room. This isn't just a story about a cruel act, it's about a father's rage, a little girl's courage, and a community forced to face its own ugliness. At home, I'm not Agent Reed. I'm just dad to my 7-year-old, Emily, the brightest light in my life. Emily was born with spina bifida, and she's been zipping around in her wheelchair since she was 3. Her smile could melt ice, and her grit humbles me daily. After my wife passed from cancer 2 years ago, Emily became my everything. We needed a fresh start, so 3 months back, we moved to Willow Grove, a cozy neighborhood with wide streets, good schools, and a single-story house perfect for Emily's chair. I thought we'd found our haven. Most folks welcomed us with warm casseroles and kind words. Except one, Helen Carver, the HOA president with a clipboard and a permanent scowl. Helen made it clear from day one we didn't belong. The second our MOVYing truck rolled in, she stormed over, barking about HOA approval for the ramp we needed for Emily's wheelchair. Standards must be upheld, she said, eyeing Emily's chair like it was trash littering her pristine street. I introduced myself, kept it calm. I'm Michael, and this is Emily. My girl, sweet as ever, piped up. I like your earrings. They're so shiny. Helen didn't even glance at her. Just snapped about unsightly modifications and marched off. Emily's little face fell. Why doesn't she like me, Daddy? I knelt beside her. Some folks are just sour, sweetheart. It's not you. But it was her. Helen was gunning for us. Over the next 3 months, Helen buried us in violation notices. Our fence was an inch too tall. Our roses were the wrong shade. Our mailbox? Apparently a crime against aesthetics. Each time, I responded politely, citing accessibility laws like the Americans with Disabilities Act that protect Emily's right to a ramp. I never flashed my badge. I wanted to be Emily's dad, not the Fed who throws his weight around. But Helen? She was relentless, and it all came to a head at the quarterly HOA meeting. Our neighbor, Mrs. Lopez, begged me to go. Helen's pushing new rules to ban non-standard structures, she warned. Your ramp's on the chopping block. So, on a muggy Thursday evening, I pushed Emily's wheelchair into the community center. She wore her favorite pink dress, sparkly unicorn clips in her hair, and I promised her ice cream if she powered through the dull meeting. The room buzzed with neighbors, and Helen stood at the podium, a steaming coffee mug by her side. Her eyes locked on Emily's chair as we rolled in, her lips curling like she'd smelled something rotten. Mrs. Lopez waved us to the second row, and I parked Emily's chair in the aisle for easy access. Helen droned through the agenda: pool fees, parking rules until she hit the main event, a new rule to ban any civil modifications, like ramps. I raised my hand. This violates the Fair Housing Act and ADA. Accessibility isn't optional, it's a right. Helen's face turned beet red. This is about property values, Mr. Reed. Your situation doesn't get you a free pass. The room shifted uncomfortably. Access isn't a favor. I shot back, steady but firm. It's the law. A few neighbors nodded, but Helen wasn't HOVYing it. If you'd bothered to check with us before MOVYing here, she spat, we could have pointed you to a neighborhood better suited for your needs. The air sucked out of the room. Are you saying disabled kids don't belong here? I asked, my voice low, anger simmering. Helen stepped from the podium, coffee mug in hand, closing in on us. You knew the rules when you bought your house. Emily tugged my sleeve. Daddy, can we go? I'm scared. Soon, baby, I whispered. Helen loomed over Emily's chair now, her voice sharp. These meetings aren't for children, especially ones with special needs. I stood, towering over her. My daughter has every right to be here. Then it happened like a nightmare in slow motion. Helen's hand jerked, maybe on purpose, maybe not, and a wave of steaming coffee flew from her mug, splashing across Emily's lap and arms. Her scream shredded the room. The hot liquid soaked her dress, her skin turning an angry red as she thrashed in her chair. Emily! I dropped to my knees, yanking off my jacket to blot the coffee, but her cries told me the damage was done. Mrs. Lopez rushed over with napkins, yelling for ice. Neighbors scrambled, but Helen? She stood there, mug still in hand, and said the words that lit a fire in me. She shouldn't have been in the aisle. Her chair was in the way. The room went dead silent, save for Emily's sobs. I lifted her from her chair, cradling her trembling body. Mrs. Lopez, call 911. My daughter needs a hospital. Then I turned to Helen, my voice ice cold. And you? Call your lawyer. Her face strained of color. It was an accident, she stammered. I stepped closer, Emily in my arms. Special Agent Michael Reed, FBI CIVYL Writes DVY Shaun. That was assault on a disabled child, and your words show exactly what you meant to do. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Helen stumbled back, babbling about titles not scaring her, but her shaking hands betrayed her. At the ER, doctors confirmed second-degree burns on Emily's legs, stomach, and arm. As nurses slathered ointment and wrapped bandages, Emily whimpered. It hurts, Daddy. I held her hand, choking back tears. I know, baby. You're so strong. A cop, Officer Daniels, took my statement while Emily slept, doped up on pain meds. 6 witnesses say Helen came at you aggressively, spewing discriminatory stuff before and after, he said. I'm pressing charges, I told him. She's been harassing us since we moved in because of Emily's disability. I handed over every notice, every email a paper trail of Helen's vendetta. The weeks that followed were brutal. Emily's burns healed slowly, but the nightmares came fast. She'd wake screaming about the mean coffee lady, too scared to go near the community center. I took leave from work, reading her stories, promising she was safe. Our neighbors stepped up. Mrs. Lopez brought enchiladas nightly, kids dropped off cards, even HOA board members apologized, swearing Helen didn't speak for them. Helen was arrested, charged with assault, reckless endangerment, and ADA violations. Her fancy lawyer called it an accident, but the EVY Denke was a mountain she couldn't climb. 3 weeks later, we faced the preliminary hearing. I worried Emily couldn't handle seeing Helen, but she insisted. Mrs. Lopez says we stand up to bullies, Daddy. She rolled into court in a bold green dress, her superhero outfit, with Mrs. Lopez and neighbors at our backs. Helen slunk in, eyes down, her lawyer at her side. The prosecutor laid out the case, burned photos, medical reports, witness accounts. Helen's lawyer spun a sob story, but then Emily spoke. The courtroom hushed as my 7-year-old said, The coffee burned me so bad. She said I shouldn't be there because of my wheelchair. But my chair's just how I get around. She stared at Helen. It's not bad or scary. Grown men wiped tears. Even Helen couldn't meet her gaze. The judge didn't flinch. EVY Denke supports all charges. Trial's on. Mrs. Carver, you're under a restraining order. Stay 100 yards from Emily Reed. Her lawyer whined about her levying in the neighborhood, but the judge cut him off. Then she moves. A child's safety comes first. Bail was set at $30,000. Outside, reporters swarmed, but Emily wanted to speak. I want kids in wheelchairs to know they belong everywhere, she told them, her voice firm. Being different isn't wrong. Her words hit the local paper's front page, sparking a flood of support. 2 months later, Helen took a plea: 18 months probation, 300 hours of community service with disabled kids, a due law $15,000 fine for the burn unit, and sensitive EY training. In court, she apologized, voice cracking. I was obsessed with rules and forgot decency. I'm sorry for hurting Emily. Emily leaned over and whispered to me, With the judge's nod, she spoke. I forgive you, Mrs. Carver. Daddy says anger makes your heart heavy. I want mine light. I swear that girl's wisdom could move mountains. 6 months on, Helen and her husband sold their house to comply with the restraining order. Mrs. Lopez took over the HOA, making accessibility a priority. Emily's scars are fading, though she still has bad dreams. But she's shining in 2nd grade, surrounded by friends who see her, not her chair. I don't hide my badge anymore, not for clout, but because I learned sometimes you've got to stand tall to protect what's yours. At the neighborhood picnic, Emily wheeled through games and scarfed down ice cream, just another kid HOA-ing fun. I love it here, Daddy. She grinned. It's home. That night, as I tucked her in, she asked, Is Mrs. Carver happier now, without all that meanness? I paused. I hope so, kiddo. I hope she sees people, not just rules. Emily nodded, sleepy. Being mad made her look so tired. Maybe now she smiles. My girl, stronger than I'll ever be, taught me justice isn't just courtrooms or cuffs. It's a community waking up, a girl 40 VYing, and a world inching closer to the one she deserves. Good night, my brave girl, I whispered. I love you more than all the stars. She mumbled back. And I love you more than all the raindrops. Already dreaming. And I swore I'd keep fighting for that world because Emily's heart is worth it.